Hey everybody, good afternoon. I'm Dustin, this is Strong on Health, and this is the end of our Ask Me Anything. We're starting a little late today. We had some people in live asking about sugar cravings, so I'm going to review what we went over with the sugar cravings and how to get around those. We're going to talk a little bit about DR.sebi. Did I say that right? DR.sebi. And CMOS, and we had some questions about that. And we're going to talk about Candida. And I want to talk a little bit about research at the end of it. Okay, so let's jump in, and we're going to go really quickly today because we're already behind, but number one, sugar cravings. So if you are having sugar cravings, the first thing I would do is I would make sure that you're getting enough fat and fiber in your diet. And this is why I love nuts and seeds so much. They give you an easy, ready, available source of healthy fat and fiber. Those are the things that make you feel full. Oftentimes, if you give your body a little bit of those, you're going to have a much better resistance to wanting to go snack on other things. So you're not getting that signaling, so you're getting that sense of satiety. The other thing to think about is actually adding in bitters into your life. Having a little bit of bitters is going to help you with engaging the bitter receptors as opposed to the sweet receptors. That is a really interesting thing that I've seen over time help people with sugar cravings a lot. So fat, fiber, bitters. And then finally, there is a really interesting herb called Gymnema sylvestre. It's actually a major component of the sugar stopper. If you're really struggling with that, look into that herb. We can answer more information about that. Okay, so let's talk about CMOS and DR.sebi. DR.sebi is somebody who I would like to talk a little bit more about. He is somebody who is an herbalist and somebody who's done a lot in trying to educate people on different aspects of their health. And one of the things that those who have worked with him and continue to carry on his legacy talked about was CMOS. And we talk a lot about seed vegetables, and Irish sea moss is one of those that may be a great source of iodine and many other minerals. We're always talking about ways to be able to get your body all the minerals that it needs, and a lot of times we're concerned that a lot of the things that people are struggling with is just because they have not been able to get enough minerals in their life. So sea moss can be an actual good source of that. I don't really know of a great source of it. I know that they have one there, and I haven't really looked at their product in particular. But if it's a whole food and if it's a really good version of it, that is something that I would consider looking into, having a little sea moss, because we have talked about bladderwrack here before. Bladderwrack is a seaweed, and there's a lot of great applications for it. In fact, MediHerb does have a bladderwrack source that they utilize in their line that can be very helpful. So sea vegetables are always going to be something to look into as possibly being able to give you a lot of nutrients and especially iodine. Okay, so Candida is overgrowth. Is there such a thing as too much yeast? I'm going to show you this article because what happens is oftentimes people have mystery illnesses and they're struggling to find an answer, and they have gone to so many places and they are still not getting answers. They start to develop this expectation that whatever is being presented to them is going to fail. So one individual actually, when we had talked about the fact that there might be some type of a Candida situation, went so far as to find an article to try to say, well, Candida isn't a thing. In fact, the article stated here by Melinda Weiner-Moyer is that Candida overgrowth problem, too much yeast, no, too little science. Now, here's why I'm bringing this up. I love that people are questioning things and looking into them, but if you're going to cite an article, go beyond the title of the article. Because if you go 2 pages into this article, it says very clearly, first, to be clear, Candida can overgrow in the body and cause problems. So too often, we're reading just the title of an article or a title of a research paper, and we're expecting that to actually represent all the truth within it. So if you're going to do that, make sure you read the whole article and read the research behind it, because oftentimes someone will say, research states this, and then you go and read the actual research, and it doesn't say that at all. So the titles are not enough to go on. Make sure you're actually reading the whole thing, and if you don't want to do that, I will do it because I like to read these things and know exactly every element of it, and I will report back to you what I find to be actual truth in there. But be very careful to go off of a headline of anything, and even reading an article written by somebody who is just a journalist. No offense, journalists, I love journalists, I think they're great, but sometimes it can mislead people into stopping themselves from being able to learn what could possibly help them. And instead of looking for a reason why something isn't going to help for you, read the whole thing so you can see that there may be something that can help you, and read the whole research. Okay, and finally, that goes for the last thing. Mystery illnesses, again. Oftentimes, and I'm going to put a link below because this is one that I don't like to talk a lot about, but people can get parasites, and it is one of those things that is associated outside of medicine because it hasn't been looked at. It isn't something that is necessarily screened for well enough, And oftentimes we see people who have gone to many, many, many places and they're still struggling with an illness. And the questions haven't even been asked. Do you eat a lot of sushi? Have you been eating tons of sushi in Japan? And I will show you the articles below that say, hey, from WebMD, if you're eating these foods, you probably need to make sure you're not getting parasites. So parasites, unfortunately, are a reality. And we have to be respectful of the fact that they may be contributing to some challenges in our digestive situation. And just because you have gone through and your blood work looks normal, or you had some type of test that said no, it doesn't happen, that doesn't mean you shouldn't at least look back at what you've been eating and really understanding whether or not you have had some exposures to these things, because they can be very sneaky, and this is why people have mysterious illnesses. So pay attention to what's going on in your body, but also read beyond just what is being put in front of you and making sure you're looking for an answer at a deeper level. Okay, really brief today, I know, and a little bit in your face, but I want to make sure that you guys don't stop because somebody says, no, there's no answer there. There may be an answer beyond that, and you have to keep looking. So for all of you out there who eat sushi, who have gone out of the country, eaten a lot of foods, understand that you are exposing yourself possibly to things that you need to make sure that are not going to be contributing to an illness that maybe a mystery illness isn't showing up in other places. Read the articles below. I hope you enjoy them. And don't stop eating sushi. I love sushi, don't get me wrong. But make sure that you're taking measures to keep yourself from having a situation where it's going to take up residence in your body for a long period of time and make you feel really ill. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on Thursday with some more questions. We have some questions we have to answer about Hashimoto's and liver cleansing and blood sugar balancing. So a lot of interesting things to come. I'll see you on Thursday in the next video.